Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today we're taking a look at from the Transformers Legacy line. This is Core Class G2 Megatron. Um, if you're familiar, then G2 Megatron is a repaint of the original Kingdom Core Class Megatron, which which I guess you can say was kind of based on G2 Megatron since it's a tank. Basically, here we just have a tank in green and purple camo. Um, I mean, and yes, if you've heard some reports, unfortunately, the figure does suffer from loose joints, otherwise known as second mold syndrome. But here's the original. And let me just say something real quick. If you guys have seen photos of that upcoming G.I. Joe Transformers crossover HISS tank, this is basically what the robot mode looks like. The treads aren't as pronounced. Because if you remember, the hiss just has that one set of treads. So this would be where the turret is. But yeah, I mean, the whole core body section, that's really what it looks like. So I wonder if it was like they took a look at core Megatron and said, that could be a hiss, or vice versa, says, if we streamline this, take the Joe connection out, we've got a core figure. But what's even funnier is technically G2 Megatron is a G.I. Joe crossover. If you guys remember those waning days of the original G.I. Joe comic, um, Megatron went to Cobra to get a new body, and they actually used a stock tank that they had. I mean, it looked like a more traditional tank. I think something like that was released as a Sears exclusive in '83, part of like a Crimson Command set or something. But basically it was a repainted Mobat or something like that. But yeah, that's where G2 Megatron got its body. And the original titanium Megatron, that horrible figure, probably the worst Transformer ever made. Again, that was based on that. So, there you go. Here's your crossover. But as you can see, for those of you familiar with the G2 Megatron, the paintwork is correct, but everything else isn't. There's a handgun. That's correct. Unfortunately, there should also be a shoulder gun, which we don't have. We have the fusion. And, much like with the Kingdom release, you can, of course, take the weapon and peg it in over the shoulder. But that's more for a G1 style Megatron look than, say, the G2 look. The faces are the same, just a little bit different in deco. You do have different paint layouts here in the chest. I mean, the chest really should be different. This should be the front of the tank, but it's not. So, different paint layout. And one thing you do have that you don't have on Megatron is the G2 Decepticon logo. So, just put the original Kingdom Megatron aside. I mean, articulation is the same, everything is still the same. It's just you have the different paint deco. And let me just tell you, there was a Legion G2 Megatron figure released in the Universe line that I think is still, well, first of all, it's still the only G2 Megatron homage that we've gotten that hasn't been a repaint of a Megatron. It'd be funny. I'd like to actually see a proper G2 Megatron update that will then in turn could be repainted into G1 Megatron. I think that'd be kind of funny. Now, I think in the original review, I went and did the transformation from tank to robot. So I think for, this, I'll do robot to tank. First, what you want to do is rotate the fusion cannon around, remove the handgun, which of course is based on the Walther, only now in green. Put that off to the side. On this arm, rotate the fist panel around like that. And then on this arm, rotate the whole forearm so that it's facing around like that. Next, what you want to do is just bring the back panel around like such. Fold up the shoulders, and these will peg together using that fusion cannon. And then what you'll do is you want to bring this combined section down, and there are slots that will fit over some tabs there, and you can then just straighten out the front and have the front of the tank like so. There's little friction air pegs that will hold it in place. Now what we can do is rotate the waist around so the front of the legs are facing towards the top of the canopy, and then separate the legs from the side. You're going to accordion them up so that the tab there, right where my finger is going to fit into a slot on the inside of the leg, and that in turn will allow the rear tread to peg into place. You might have to finagle it a little, but you can get it there. Just again, do it again on this side, accordioning up. Make sure that does snap into place, and that in turn will secure the tank mode. And then finally, to finish it off, plug the handgun into the front of the barrel, and there you have your G2 Megatron in tank mode. It's exactly the same as the Kingdom. If you like the Kingdom one, you'll like this. If you like the colors, with me, the G2 color scheme I could take or leave. It was either we get a tank Megatron or we get a blue and orange G1 Megatron Walther gun, and frankly I think this is a little bit better. For me, I think a lot of the gappage in the back stands out more with this color scheme. So yeah, so that's about it. Why don't we pause, and I'll come back with my final thoughts. Okay, so I've actually tried to film this ending a couple times, and my phone, which I use as my camera, was overheating and stopped filming. So I'm going to keep this as short as possible. If you don't have the previous version of the Core Megatron mold, which was released in Kingdom, then pick this one up, but be prepared for loose joints. If you have Kingdom Core Megatron, you really don't need this, because this isn't a proper G2 Megatron. It is available off of Amazon with Core Shockwave, which I recommend purchasing above anything else. Thank you for watching. If you liked the review, like, comment, subscribe. Helps with algorithms. Join my Patreon, hyperlink in the description, card in the corner. This is your old pal Chuck for G2 Megatron. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'm sorry I'm rushing through this ending, but we will see you next time.